Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. If you're tuning in with us live here at 7:25 a.m., if you're watching through YouTube or LinkedIn and you're seeing our cover art, your eyes are not deceiving you. We have a special edition of the Young People Takeover today. We will be joined by the one, the only host of News in Motion. Miss Gail Dudley is back with us today for a special report, a special edition of News in Motion. We have missed her, we have loved her, and we are glad that she is back. If you're an audio or podcast listener, thank you for turning those dials to NIM today. Today is also Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024, and it is also Talk About It Tuesday, and we have a lot to talk about, not just from this past weekend, but from yesterday as well. Before we get started, a few shout outs to our viewers. Good morning to you, Miss Adrian. Good morning, Miss Marion Jackson. Good morning to you, Miss Kim Emerson, as well. Just some of the people coming in the room through YouTube. So, without further delay, y'all know what we do over here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just gonna get straight into it. Bring in Miss Gail Dudley. Welcome back.
What's up? What's up? I have not been following you and Lexi. I know I was on break, but I hear you are doing phenomenal. I'm getting emails, text messages, DMs, and so forth. So thank you so much, Isaiah, for all that the two of you have been doing. With all the calls I was receiving on this past Sunday and Monday, I said, I got to sneak in. And so I am thankful that you all allowed me to take over Young People Takeover today.
Of course. We're always happy to have Miss Gail Dudley in the building with us, and the chat has missed you as well. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Well, there's a lot to cover. And again, I'm so glad to see Adrian and Marion and Kim Edmondson and Sardinia. I need y'all to go ahead and let some people know I'm on here today. We got a lot to talk about. So say, come on in. Anyone on the audio, I just want to say hello. What's happening? How you doing? Y'all, today is Tuesday, July the 23rd, 2024, and I am your host, Gail Dudley, coming here to hang out with you all today. All right, so we're kind of like, it's almost like my break isn't able to break, if that makes any sense. So I see you. Marion said, good morning, Gail. Great to see you. Great to see you as well. With all my pearls in here, right? What's up, Donita? What's up? So I feel like my break is probably already over. I'm not real sure that I had a break. Y'all just didn't really see me on live. So this is what we're going to do. So you're kind of getting a sneak peek of what's going to be happening come November the 6th, shall I say. And that is, it's so important for you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribing to this YouTube channel. And you can find that at youtube.com/Gail Dudley. So all of you, and it should be, did we do that right? It actually should say youtube.com/Gail Dudley. So we will fix that. But set the alerts. Do me a favor and set the alerts. And once you have set the alerts, you will be able to find out exactly when I'm coming on. Okay? Exactly when I'm coming on, you'll be able to find that out. So when the alert goes off, I'll be popping in. So just wanted to let you all know that. So go ahead and do that. Set the alerts, because I'm still taking time off, but I will be here during the off and on during the DNC convention. I just could not do that RNC. I tried. It was leading up to my birthday. I just couldn't do it. So subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. I will post there as well. And my Instagram is at Gail Dudley. Again, it is at Gail Dudley. And then subscribe to my article platform Medium. And my article platform Medium is gaildudley.medium.com. Again, that's gaildudley.medium.com. So make sure you are subscribing to that as well. I'm going to be putting a lot of articles up there. I want to keep you informed. All right, y'all. I'm just giving you a lot of information coming in here. What's up, Regina Shorts? Mark, tab, however you do it, this particular resource. We've talked about this a lot here on News in Motion. So I'm sure you probably already have it filed somewhere, but that's www.ballotpedia.org. That's going to come in handy over the next 104 days. Again, that's www.ballotpedia.org. Okay? Now I want you to mark your calendars. The DNC is August the 19th through the 22nd, 2024. Again, that's August the 19th through 22nd, 2024. That's the DNC that will be taking place in Chicago. And then, y'all, I want everyone, because we're all going to get to work, everyone to mark on your calendar National Voter Registration Day, which is going to be September the 17th. I can tell you there will be one location where I will be at during that day, which will be Kennedy Cakes, downtown Columbus. Adrian is the owner there. Now, National Registration Day, we're not going to do our own. We're partnering with everyone else. And so what we're doing under News in Motion is that we're signing up under News in Motion. But if you want to check out the site for yourself, and I don't have a banner for this, I'm sorry, Isaiah. It is National Voter Registration Day. All just no space. National Voter Registration Day.org. There you can go and see what's happening and what we're going to do. And I also want to encourage you to vet your sources that you choose to volunteer. Vet them. All right, now that I got all that stuff out the way, yes, I'm donning my pearls. Listen, at 1:46 p.m. on Sunday, July the 21st, this happened. From the letterhead of Joseph R. Biden Jr. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation and lowering prescription drug costs for seniors and expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we revitalized and strengthened our allegiance around the world. It has been the great honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intentions to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of this term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I've always said, that there is nothing Americans can't do. We can do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. And he signed his signature. What's up, Latrice Jones? By now, I know you know this. If you don't know any of this, I'm a little concerned about you. But let me say this to all of you. I am grateful to you, those of us who have been ride and die with News in Motion. I got the alert. I was actually out enjoying my birthday weekend. I was out and I had just left the Columbus Museum of Arts, which I love, and I encourage all of you to go there, check it out. It's free on Sundays. And Latrice Jones says, what a beautiful surprise to see my good sis this morning. Love you, love you, love you. And I am at lunch at the North Market, about to bite into a lobster roll. And, you know, my phone buzzed. When my phone buzzed, my wrist buzzed because it's connected. And it was buzz after buzz after buzz after. And I was like, and I was trying to tell myself, nope, you're in the moment. You're enjoying your birthday. Whatever it is, it'll be there an hour, 2 hours later. But I could not stop. It was like nonstop. And I said, what is this? And I read this letter. And then it goes out to the American public. And I'm just sitting there stunned. And I actually screamed like, oh my gosh. And this lady that was sitting next to me, she said, what? I didn't even know her. She was with her children. And I said, oh, and without thinking, I said, President Biden has stepped out of race. And she just was like, what? I mean, her whole demeanor changed. So we had our conversation, me and my friends who I was with had our conversation, and I had to get back focused. So about 15 minutes later, another letter came out, as you well know, where President Biden endorses Kamala Harris. So this is where we are today. I know you've heard a lot already, so I don't want to go down that trail, but y'all know here we like to educate. So if you don't mind, let me back up and just give a little bit of education. Let me know in the chat if that's okay with all of you, that I can do some education on this morning. So what is happening now as things are unfolding? First off, the enthusiasm has just gone like through the roof. Even some of the millennials or younger people that I have been talking with, they were texting me like crazy. Like, Mama Gail, I'm in now. Mama Gail, I'm totally enthusiastic now. Mama Gail, let's get started. What do I need to do? Mama Gail, I need to go register to vote. What? You weren't registered? Mama Gail, I want to volunteer. How do I give $20? I mean, the excitement of that millennial base immediately shifted, which said to me that it's time for us to really listen to them. I mean, because y'all know in the past 24 hours, over 28,000 new volunteers have registered to volunteer. Kim Edmondson says, yes, we need education because the shenanigans are popping off already. The shenanigans are popping off. You got that right. You got that right. So we have to just pause and say, okay, because this excitement is going to start dying down. And in addition to that, and I want y'all to hear me, please hear me, and I'm not excluding white women, Asian women, well, I don't know, black and brown women, no, Asian women are in here too. I'm not intentionally excluding white women or men, but I want to say this, y'all. The attacks on women, we already felt them when former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton ran for president. Now that it's a black woman who is running for president, we need to protect our heart, our mind. We need to protect ourselves. And the one thing I'm going to say, and I am going to say it here because I know our demographics here, black women. Let's start supporting each other. Let's start making sure that we are connecting with one another. Can we do that, please? Can we do that? Isaiah, on your side, check your mic and make sure it's down because I'm getting the feedback here. So I think it's your microphone. So we want to be very mindful of that. What's happening now that President Biden has dropped out of the race? Well, I want to slow walk us through this at this moment. Kamala Harris runs for president. So on Sunday, she did announce that she was running Others had the opportunity to seek to run, seek the nomination as well. And as we all know, Senator Joe Manchin thought he could do it. No, boo. You came out of the affiliation in May. Remember that? You didn't want us anymore. You went over to the independent side, which you have your right to do, because I split tickets all the time, but I still have an affiliation. But no, you decided to do that. So you left in May 2024. You left the party. You don't get to seek that nomination. So sometime Sunday after late evening, he decided to sit down, which he needed to sit down. And all the other people that were suggestions, like different governors and so forth, ready to run, they all started endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I'll come back in a few moments to talk more about it. As of last evening, she has the majority of the delegations to move forward. So that's exciting as well. Now, Vice President Harris, the candidate, a presidential candidate, and other potential candidates, they will try to secure delegate support. Now, some delegates can still go to someone else, but right now she's on track of getting all of them, of clinching all of them. Now, if there are multiple candidates, they could possibly hold a debate, but as of today, there's 104 days remaining to the general election. Okay, there's only a few days because the Democratic National Convention begins on August the 19th. So where they going to do a debate? I don't know. And the Democrats will gather in Chicago for what is now called an open convention. So this is the process you may be hearing people talk about. Donita said, be prepared for vicious attacks from the right against Black women. It's already happening. I can tell you that right now. Also, delegates vote for presidential candidate. No, not necessarily. Enough votes are for the nomination. And then from the nomination, the delegates vote. So there's a process that they have to go. So we do have the delegates. So let me give you this information and let me know if I'm going too fast. Hopefully y'all follow me, but I know there's a lot of pundits out there putting out information. There's a lot of people doing some great work, but I find it important. Don't just receive what's being said. Understand the connection and why we do it. That's what makes us here on News in Motion different. I see you, Judy Neal. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So now that the president has dropped out of the 2024 presidential race and has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to be nominee, it will ultimately be up to the Democratic National Convention delegates to formally select a new nominee for their party. Now, y'all, this marks the first time in over 50 years that a majority party nominee was selected outside the democratic process of primaries and caucuses. So, again, as of yesterday evening, she has clinched the majority, not all of them, but the majority of the delegates. And I'm happy to report that late last night, Ohio delegates overwhelmingly pledged their support for Vice President Kamala Harris. So let's talk about the delegates. Here's the state delegation that has declared support so far. Alaska, Arkansas, California, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Guam, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. So those are so far as of this morning. Now, these are the ones who have not made any announcement yet, and that's Alabama, American Samoa, Arizona, Colorado, Delaware, Democrats Abroad, District of Columbia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, Northern Mariana Islands, Oklahoma, Oregon, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, Virgin Islands, Virginia, Washington, and Wyoming. Now, here's what's important. The chair of the delegates, of state delegates, gathered Sunday late on Zoom. Then they had to go back to their delegates within the state to then go through the process and begin to vote. You may hear more of these come in later today. It's a process. The goal is by Wednesday evening to have all of the delegates counted. And she also had to have the money to move forward. Let's talk about that. Y'all, $46.7 million came in within 7 hours of this announcement on Sunday. And these are your $20 donations or less. Now, it's the largest. This was larger than when Obama kicked this type of donations off when he was running. So imagine $46.7 million from people like me and you. That's who it is. $20 or less within 7 hours. We found out it went up to over 50 million. Then we found out as of yesterday, that's now at $81 million. Unheard of, which says the enthusiasm is out there. Okay. Also in breaking news, we have endorsements from labor unions, the ALF-CIO, the AFSCME, the ATU, the AFT, the CWA, the stage employees, the IBEW, the IUPAT, the SEIU, United Farm Workers, the WFCW. Unions are for this presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. Now, I gave you the everyday people who gave money that added up to 81 million. I think it's still going. Well, the big donors started writing their checks again. And within 31 hours, they have raised more than $240 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. There are homeless people out here. There are people who are still food insecure, 13 million children. I don't want us to ignore that. But this is what this woman is doing. So some of you may be asking the question, well, who is she? And what exactly has she accomplished? I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you. This is on the White House page. Vice President, she has worked to bring people together to advance opportunities, deliver for families, and protect fundamental freedoms across the country. She has done work on the border. She has been out there. She has worked alongside of everything that President Joe Biden has put out there. She is, in fact, a prosecutor. I love how they're saying that. The cop and the criminal. Those are the words that are being put out there, saying who she is. So here's some of the record. That's just, y'all really know her background. So here's some of the record. Lowering cost of families, everyday expenses. More people are working than at this point in American history because of job numbers, and she's been out there in the forefront doing a lot of that work. Rescue the economy and change the course of the pandemic. And again, President Biden is saying you really can't separate them. They've been lockstep with everything that they're doing. So he's saying she needs to have the same credibility and recognition as he has. So he's giving these accomplishments to her as well. Rebuilding our infrastructure, historic expansion of benefits and services for toxic exposed veterans. Yeah, girl, the cop and the criminal. The first meaningful gun violence reduction legislation in 30 years. They said she was out there with the whip, making sure those votes were coming in. Protected marriage for LGBTQI+, IA+, and interracial couples. Historic confirmation that she was really out there whipping up the confirmation for Ketanji Brown Jackson. The support for Ukraine, she's been there many times strengthen alliances for partnerships to deliver for the American people, successful counterterrorism missions, executive order protection, so forth and so on and on and on and on. And she's a big advocate for women having the rights over their bodies. So all of this is happening. A lot is still unfolding. And I want you to know who she is before you just jump out there and get on a bandwagon. My pearl should tell you where I'm headed. So with the running mate, there's been a lot of conversations about the running mate. I got the latest information from the press room early this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, what time is it? I have not been up at 4 o'clock in about 4 weeks. I'm like, oh, I can't make it. Anyway, Vice President Harris, now presidential candidate Kamala Harris, has picked Eric Holder, who served as President Obama's Attorney General, to oversee her search for a running mate. I was like, go on. So here are the top picks so far. Kentucky Governor, age 46, Andy Beshear. Roy Cooper, Governor of North Carolina, age 67. Mark Kelly, U.S. Senator from Arizona, age 60. And y'all may remember him. His wife was the one that was shot in the head during one of her rallies. J.B. Pritzker, I always say his name wrong, Governor of Illinois, age 59. And we also have Governor of Pennsylvania, age 51, Josh Shapiro. So the vetting process has begun. As y'all know, she kicked off her campaign yesterday in Delaware. Kim Edmondson says, it says a lot about Joe for sharing the credit of the accomplishment. Yeah. It's almost like, I don't know about you all, but I was sad at first. Y'all remember this right here on News in Motion. This would have been 2019, when he had not decided to put his name in the hat yet for running for president. Y'all remember I kept saying, we got to wait on Joe. I need Joe to get in here. And y'all thought I was crazy. And y'all were like, yeah, Joe's out. Even that first debate. If y'all remember that first debate, he didn't do well either. And that's when Kamala threw him under the bus. Y'all remember that? Y'all got to tell me y'all remember that, right? And y'all thought I was nuts. He won. He did. And so overall, I think he's a great guy. So here on News in Motion, I just really want to say to you, President Joseph Biden, that I think you're outstanding. You are a patriot. You did bring calmness to America, especially for Black and brown people. Your accomplishments are unbelievable. And when I go back, because I hear a lot that the comparison of different presidents, it is a fact that you have done more in 3.5 years than any president of the United States of America. The problem is that the media did not give you your due diligence and talk about your accomplishments. So although people have already called us in the last 24 hours a little platform, this little platform that brings education has identified your accomplishments. We put it in our Friday rundown for over 2 years now, and we've been talking about your accomplishments and educating the people. The sad thing is that we don't have a lot of viewers. We have a lot of replays, and they average about 15 minutes total in replays because we can see all those demographic statistics and different numbers. But it is true. We're a digital platform. I'm not known. I'm not recognized. So we're not getting the followers that so many are receiving, millions and hundreds of thousands of followers. But even still, whether there's 10 live, 20 live, or 1,000 replays, I can tell you, President Biden, that we've been talking about your accomplishments from day one, including Project 2025. Donita says he has been a great public servant for over 50 years. He has absolutely been a great servant. Marion Jackson says, not sure if you're aware, there was an article, the former guy is calling for a civil war if he and J.D. Vance lose the election. He's also floated out there that he wants to sue President Biden for exiting the race. And from my campaign training that I took for 9 months, which I've shared with you all, the Center for Progressive Leadership, was so interesting. They tell you, you never build a campaign around a person. If he did that, built his campaign only around Joe Biden, that's his fault. That's his campaign's fault. That's nobody's fault. But you're supposed to build your campaign around your policies, your platform, and what you're going to do for the American people. All right, y'all, so let me keep going. Many of you are asking about volunteerism and how you can volunteer and get started. Again, y'all, there's been more than 28,000 new volunteers who have signed up. Now, how to volunteer for election campaign. First of all, you have to identify the candidate or the cause. Kim Edmondson said, yes, 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 News in Motion has been sharing all that. We have. Listen, I don't care if there was 2 of us on here. We have done the work. We have done the work. And we're going to continue to do the work. I thought enough of you all, the supporters, and those of you who have been rallying around News in Motion, that I said, the heck with a break. People are asking me questions. They're questioning things that other people are saying. Let me come on to try to calm some of this when it comes to our supporters and followers. Lori says, not to mention President Biden had not yet legally accepted the nomination. Yeah, when I was putting him out there, yeah, that's true. Donita said that guy has no policy or platform, just rhetoric. Yeah, they were trying to beat the old guy. Now he's the old guy, right? So here's just a few steps I want to share with you. How to volunteer for an election campaign. Identify the candidate or cause. Determine which candidate or cause you support and understand why you support that. Thank you, Shirley. Research their platform to ensure alignment with your values. Research the platform. Visit official websites. Go to the official campaign website of your chosen candidate or political party. Yeah, this also deals with the senators who are running, the House of Representatives who are running, also your local people who are running. You have to look at all of that. Sign up online. Fill out the volunteer form. You have to provide your contact information, y'all. They are vetting people these days, especially with the heightened attacks and violence that's being communicated. Marion Jackson says, News in Motion is the bomb for educating and giving needed information. Well, thank you. That's what we pride ourselves on, y'all. We really do it. Specify your area of interest, such as canvassing. Now, a lot of people are kind of backing off of knocking on doors. Some people are still doing it because a lot of states now are stand your ground states, and people can say, well, I felt threatened. So you have to use wisdom in doing that. Phone banking is still a thing. Sending out text messaging, writing postcards, event planning, and digital outreach. Find out what's best for you. And if you have an hour a week, if you have an hour a month, whatever you can contribute it. And again, I'm speaking whatever side of the aisle you're on. Attend volunteer training. Campaigns often provide training sessions for new volunteers. Attend these to understand the campaign's goals, their messaging, and best practices. Join local campaign offices. Find out if there's a local campaign office or volunteer group in your area. Connect with them. Go and have coffee with the chair before you sign up and see if there's something that aligns with you. Participate in events. How many times have I said this here on News in Motion? Town halls, town halls, town halls, town halls. Town hall meetings are very important even now. Attend rallies if you feel comfortable doing it, and other events to show your support. Volunteer to help organize or run these events. Engage on social media. Share. Pass it on. Inbox people, whatever that looks like. If that's your candidate, that's a part of way you can volunteer to share. Yesterday, all I had on my Instagram was Kamala Harris, okay? Share posts, create content, and engage with other supporters online. Something that I'm going to do, since I'm kind of like getting off break, something that I'm going to do, I'm going to start putting graphics up on my Instagram. Again, follow me on Instagram. That's at Gail Dudley. Follow me on Instagram. That's the at symbol, Gail Dudley, GailDudley. I'm going to start putting up things that are in Project 25. putting a piece up there and say found on page 302, putting a piece up there saying found on page 887, so that you can see. Listen, the Heritage Foundation president, and I'm gonna put this, I think I may have this on my Facebook page already. The president on their Heritage Foundation YouTube page, okay? He talks clearly with Michael Steele about how he's wanting to eliminate more than 50,000 federal jobs. So if they get in office and you are aligned as a Democrat or an independent, they can fire you. That's a part of the project plan, and it is in there. It is in there on page 500. I believe it's 562. It's in there. It's like, what? So we can only have a job if we align with with your party? Are you serious right now? Y'all, this is not false information. This is the truth. Please hear me, y'all. This is the truth. So we're gonna start putting that out there so that you can read it for yourself, or at least see that page. See that page. All right, y'all. How to vet organizations. There's a lot of organizations that are popping up wanting you to give. Y'all, please don't do that. Please, 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 please don't do that. Vet the organizations. How do you do that? Well, you want to research the organization, look up the organization's history. How long have they been in action? And I'm not being funny. If they say a year or 2 years, I don't know if you want to do that. Find out their history, their mission, and their leadership. And then look up their leadership. Look up their leadership. Put their name. Google is your friend right now. Google the information and then check it to make sure it's not misinformation. We've talked a lot. We put this in the Friday rundown so many times on how to vet a source, and also now how to look to make sure it has not been generated by AI. That the pictures have not been generated by AI. So you want to check that. They do want dictatorship. Check for news articles or reviews about the organization. Check official registrations. Ensure the organization is registered with the relevant authorities like the Federal Election Commission in the U.S. You want to check all this. Look for transparency, y'all. Legitimate organizations are transparent about their funding, expenditures, and operations. You have a right, if you're volunteering or giving money, to ask for that information. And also, as volunteers, you should be given a background check. So you should be doing that. But be careful before you give out your social security number or any of that. Do your due diligence first. I cannot stress this enough. Read volunteer reviews. Search for reviews or testimonials from previous volunteers. You use websites, which we've talked about this in the Friday rundown, such as Volunteer Match or Idealist to find reviews. I want you to contact organizations. Reach out directly with any questions or concerns. Legitimate organizations will respond. If they don't respond, keep moving. Evaluate communication. Pay attention to how professional and organized their communications are. And then clear and consistent communication is a good sign. So y'all follow all of these steps. Now, back in February, I wrote an article on my Medium article platform called Unleashing the Power of Volunteering. It's a blueprint for civic engagement and social impact. Again, go to gail.medium.com and you can see all the different articles I have up there. Just subscribe. Every time I write a new article and put it out there, it will automatically alert you if you subscribe. The last thing I want to say before I get to the inspirational message, that is this. Y'all, power the polls. As you all know, News in Motion is a partner with Power the Polls. If you are thinking about becoming an official election worker, you can go to powerthepolls.org/News in Motion. It was during the primary season. I was reading off to you so many states that had 1 or 2 workers available, and they were begging for workers. Y'all, we're going to need workers. So if you can, they do training. Many of them pay you a stipend. We have several people here on News in Motion. Hi, Tracy. We have several people here on News in Motion who have been election officials at different election locations. Just check it out. It is true, as I said in 2020 when News in Motion came into existence, that the first places that they will shut down are those in the marginalized communities. Those who will not have transportation to other locations to cast their ballots. Y'all, I want you all to start checking your voter registration now. Y'all know that's something I've been telling y'all for 4 years. Check your voter registration. Go to your Secretary of State website, put in your name, find out if all of your information there is correct. Y'all check the spelling of your name. Don't skip over anything. Check your birthday, check your social security number, check your address, make sure the street is spelled correctly. Check everything. On this past Monday here in Ohio, they started purging records. So if you are in Ohio, you definitely want to check it because now's the time to get it fixed. October the 7th, I'm going to give y'all a list of all the registration deadlines, but I can tell you October the 7th in the state of Ohio is the last day to register to vote. But don't wait till October the 7th. Just do it today. It takes less than 3 minutes. Check your voter registration status and or register to vote. I'm going to get on y'all's last nerves with that. As y'all know, that is okay, but that's what's going to happen. But y'all sign up to become poll workers. So my inspirational message, and I'm out of here, and I'll tell you what's happening the rest of this week here on News in Motion. Inspirational message. We can hope, but we must also plan. Yeah, I'm all behind hope. I'm all big on hope. That was Obama's slogan, right? Oh, hope. We just got to hope, hope, hope. Absolutely. But now we have to plan. We have to plan strategically. What is our strategy? What is our strategy? Latrice Jones says Ohio's doing the most. They are. What is our strategy? Okay, what's the strategy? We have to have a strategy. Now, I will talk more about this when I come back in September. I will be in and out in August, but I will talk more about this in September. But we even have to have a strategy if the person that you wanted to get in office does not succeed. What's the strategy? We cannot fall apart. We cannot fall apart. Strategy, and Hester isn't on here, but strategy is let's turn some of these hotels into apartments. Strategy is let's make sure we're funding our HBCUs, whether you attended there or not. Strategies are doing what we can with the educational system. How do we join the PTA and PTO? Strategies are how do we help these individual people who have the desire to become medical students or STEM students, and they just don't have the money to do it or the scholarship money. How strategy is we come together and begin to put together these different philanthropy initiatives and moving forward with those things. Strategy, we need to have a strategy. So we have to have a plan on how we're going to do some of these things. Planning is going to be key. Even if the person you desire to get in, you still need a strategy. You still need a plan. So hope is one thing, but make sure that you also have a plan. So what's happening here on News in Motion? As y'all know, this has been Young People Takeover Month. And we have our senior, Lexi Williams, who has been invited to a conference, so she will not be with us the rest of this week. And Isaiah kindly told me in the green room, Auntie Gail, I'm a man of few words. I can't say too much. So this is what we're going to do. They will be back on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week to finish out Young People Takeover. They have a few surprises. I will not share them. I almost slipped, Isaiah. I will not share them. So you want to tune in. They will have a few surprises for some of you, of our viewers that are here. But the rest of this week, I want us to check our voting registration, register to vote, and try your best to get at least one other person registered to vote. Okay? That's what the rest of the week is going to be homework assignment. It's going to be a homework assignment. So there will be no News in Motion Wednesday or Thursday. Not unless some mighty news breaks out, then I will come on those times to do it. Again, subscribe to the YouTube and set the alert. So every time I come in or every time we post that we're going to go live, you will receive the alert to say that we're coming in here. So there's right now, at this moment, there will not be any News in Motion Wednesday or Thursday. The young people will be back on Tuesday. I may pop in here on Thursday. We'll see. No promises. Throughout the month of August, and I'm giving y'all a sneak peek of what we're going to be doing come November the 6th. Throughout August, whenever I feel that there's breaking news or whenever y'all blow up my phone like y'all did on Sunday, I will make it a point to come in that next morning to share with you what I've learned. All right, so that's going to be in addition to y'all probably like, where's she going in November? We are not going anywhere. God didn't tell us to go. We're not going anywhere. But we're going to be changing the way we do some things because we want to make sure we are bringing you exactly what you may be seeking, the education and information that you're seeking. A lot of people were believing that Kamala Harris just became the nominee on Sunday. That doesn't happen that way. In some news places, we're saying there's a process. Some were not saying. Again, I'm not throwing any shade at any of them, but I believe in educating so that you know. So y'all, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We'll try to get this replay up. I'm going to see if I can get Gina to come and get this out as soon as possible. But y'all, this is what we're doing. We're here. We're not going anywhere. Let's remember to pray for one another. Let's pray for presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Y'all, let's even pray for the other presidential candidate, Donald J. Trump. Let's pray for the American people. Let's pray for the process. Let's pray that God's will be done. All right, y'all, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I am Gail Dudley. This has been News in Motion. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone, and remember to make some bold moves. We're out.
News in Motion.